premises liability, government entity liability, all on behalf of plaintiffs. Kenny represents people who need help. Before that, he had worked at a different nationally renowned plaintiffs law firm. He manages an active, large caseload, has obtained numerous settlements in the 5 figures, the 6 figures, the 7 figures, and the 8 figures. He successfully mediated and arbitrated countless matters, and also tried cases as lead counsel at both the state and federal levels. He's been recognized consistently as one of the top lawyers in our community. In 2019 and 20, he was recognized as one of the top 40 under 40 and the National Latino Trial Lawyers Association top 10. He was recognized for excellence in the legal community by being named one of the 2022 super lawyers. Kenny also cares about our law school, has given of his time, given of his philanthropy, been a mentor to dozens, if not hundreds of students, has received countless awards from us and external organizations. He's active in his community and in so many ways represents the best of who we are. I'm excited for you to hear from Kenny Ramirez.
Thank you, Dean Waterstone. It's an honor for me to be here. How are you guys doing? Good. Sleepy? It sounds. No, really, how are you guys doing? Good. There you go, that's a little better. What an absolutely thrilling ride you are all in for. No matter what point in life you're at, this is going to be an unforgettable experience. It will be an important part of your life, a turning point even, and in many respects, it's going to shape your life and quite frankly, your family's life for decades to come, if not generations. So, no pressure. Look, like Dean Waterstone, I've been accused of being an eternal optimist once or twice in my life. So I have to force myself to start on one end of the spectrum in order to end up where I really want to end up, and that's encouraging you. But seriously, let me ask you a question with a show of hands, and honestly, how many of you have been told that this is going to be one of the hardest years, if not the hardest year of your life? That's what I thought. My memory serves me correctly. Look, I won't sugarcoat it. It's going to be very tough. It's going to be quite challenging, and it's going to really push you. Now that's the downside. The upside, the positive, the good news is that it's going to be very tough, it's going to be quite challenging, and it's going to really push you. But here's the thing. Each and every single one of you is capable of each and every single challenge you will face along your law school career. You're capable of that and so much more. Now, I may not know you personally, but I do know that Loyola Law School wanted you here, and you chose to be here. So the one certainty that exists is that you are built for this. Now, my time with you is brief this morning, so I quickly wanted to talk to you about 3 things. And if you remember nothing else, I just want you to remember 3 words: community, grit, and selflessness. Start with that first one, and Dean Waterstone mentioned this. Community was one of the most important things Loyola Law School taught me. And it had nothing to do with the classroom itself. Now, I'd always considered myself to be a very independent person. In fact, it was a point of pride. And I thought law school would be no different. But Loyola showed me that there was a community, a family, that really cared about me, that cared about every one of my peers, and a community that I can open up to and admit that I didn't know what to do. And I could ask for help without fear of judgment or embarrassment. And not only that, it was a community that would go the extra mile or 2 in its efforts to help me succeed. Now, this same community is there to help you. From the faculty to the administration to alumni, from the cafeteria staff to security to the custodial staff. Everyone here wants you to succeed. And now you are a part of this family. A family that every now and then will experience helicopters going over campus, but a family nonetheless. And family helps family. Now, Loyola showed me that it was a good thing to be independent, but that being a part of a community, a family, and experiencing interdependence, well, that's something far more worthwhile, something far more valuable. And as it turns out, will make your life easier and will help you go much further than you would otherwise go on your own. And by the way, your peers, everyone here, they're not your competition. They're part of your community. Now, I know grades exist, and I know you're all going to shoot for the best grades possible, and you know what? That's great. Go for it. I'm not going to stop you, and I'm not going to discourage you. But the only true competition that exists is the person in the mirror staring right back at you as you get ready in the morning. So, uplift each other. Encourage each other. If somebody doesn't understand a concept, explain it to them. Help them. And pass it on when it's your turn. That's not weakness. That's strength. And your community will be all the better for it through your reciprocal care and contribution. So, in the spirit of community, I'm going to ask you to do something a little different, and bear with me, okay? But I want you to turn to the person that's sitting next to you, and with a warm smile, I want you to tell them, I am so happy to be going on this journey with you. There you go. Now it's feeling like a family barbecue. All right? Talk about grit. When I arrived on campus in 2011, I came in fully intent with getting the best grades in my class. About 4 weeks and one midterm later, I quickly realized that just might not be in the cards. Now, in my defense, it was a decent grade, but it was nowhere near the top. And the next few exams produced somewhat similar results. What I realized then was that this was not going to be as easy as I thought it would be. Admittedly, naively thought. But that's where it got fun. Because I realized that this was going to require more of me than I previously thought I had to give. And if I can promise you one thing, I can promise you that you will also encounter a moment or two that makes you question your decision to go to law school. Can I do this? Do I even want this? Is it worth it? Do I have what it takes? And the answer, let me be the first to tell you today, is a resounding, emphatic, unambiguous yes. Yes, you do. Now, your law school career at Loyola is simply life played out over the course of 3 years, taking place in a square city block located in downtown Los Angeles. Like life, there will be challenges, but as is evidenced simply by your presence here today on the precipice of your law school journey, challenges for you are simply boxes to be checked off before arriving at your destination. The only thing I'm going to encourage you to do is that when things do get tough, dig deep. Dig deep. Because in your innermost being, deep down, you each have untold and unmeasurable reserves of strength and grit. So much so that you would surprise yourself. So embrace those challenges. In fact, I would go so far as to tell you to earnestly look for those challenges and surprise yourself. Because once again, the only person worthy of your competition is yourself. And tying this back to our conversation about community, you provide the perseverance, Loyola will provide the resources. This is a team effort, and Loyola is just as invested in your success as you are. And that's the beauty of Loyola Law School, and it's not just lip service. And lastly, speaking of success, a word that's so easily definable with respect to others, but so difficult to define for ourselves, let me say this. I came to Loyola 11 years ago in search of a degree, and a degree that would bring me a certain lifestyle and afford certain freedoms. And not just a civil type of liberty, but freedom from worry, freedom from stress, from uncertainty, economic freedom. And if I'm being brutally honest with myself, I wanted the image that being an attorney would give a kid who came to the US at the age of 2, lived in a closet at one point in his life, and who worked construction during summers and any days off school. And yes, it's true that the title of attorney comes with a certain prestige. One, by the way, that your loved ones, your parents in particular, will gladly tell anyone who gives them a second of their time, right? And it's true that this profession can provide a comfortable life. But that's not what it means to be an attorney. It's not a profession born of selfish desires. Rather, our profession is one of selflessness. To be an attorney is to represent others, to protect people, to protect ideals, to advocate for the lives, interests, and rights of others. And when it's all said and done, your success will be measured by the impact your advocacy has had on the lives of other people. The key word there is others. It's not about you, it's about them. And so, as you begin this exciting journey that is your law school career, have goals, have dreams, envision the life that you want and go for it. Dream big, dream what would be borderline ridiculous, and if you're feeling adventurous, dream ridiculously. But don't forget that at the heart of what it is to be an attorney is to care for others. And interestingly enough, the more you give to others, the more you end up receiving yourself. Life is simply funny that way. And so in closing, become a part of and embrace your Loyola community. Encourage others to find their inner strength and grit as you travel this journey together. And be selfless. Thank you for your time. I wish you nothing but the best, and may my achievements pale in comparison to your coming success and the amazing impact each of you will undoubtedly have on Loyola and our society. Thank you, and God bless.